the Sunday Spit Roast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sunday Spit Roast. We're here again at the Spit Station this week. It's me, Charlie Stanton, and Frank Cassidy.
Hello guys.
And Damien Kingsley.
Hello.
Alright, we just had Halloween, so we thought it would be a bit of a laugh to look over at the past event and look into the paranormal, the grand world of the paranormal.
Ooh.
Psychics. Ooh, tarot. Well, I guess psychics can be broad as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to say actually, with regards to psychics, I mean, obviously, I think it'd be pretty hack of us just to kind of go on about psychics. So I think we should really explore what it is to be psychic and try and get to the bottom of it. Because I'll put my flag on the hill just at this point and say I obviously don't believe in it, but I'd really like to know. And I like your guys' opinion on exactly what it is to be psychic. Well, who are they actually talking to?
We've got somebody ringing in.
We have a comedian and actual real bona fide psychic, Mary Fielding, calling in. She's going to give us some insights that obviously we just don't have about the subject. So we're really looking forward to that, aren't we, guys? Right? Yeah. What else?
Being afraid of the dark.
Well, I mean, who over the age of 6 is afraid of the dark? I mean, come on.
I think quite a lot of people are, aren't they?
Really?
What isn't there to be afraid of?
You mean in general, or just of the dark?
Of the dark, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just a room without light, isn't it? I mean, or a place without light. I mean, what's scary about that?
Well, you don't know what's going on, do you?
Well, is that it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Basically, just
could be rapists.
I can't see something.
Could be rapist outside the light.
There could be a rapist. There could be.
Yeah, we're talking about very real threats now, aren't we? Could be a rapist.
Let's just back up for a second. So you're the first place you went to as rapist.
I think Charlie said that, but there could be one. Yeah.
So that's your number one fear, being raped.
No.
What I mean, also,
well,
being in the dark.
Probably,
be quick as well.
Probably, and this is realistic. Standing on a plug.
Really?
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Whilst trying to have a real brief, spur of the moment sexual encounter while wearing skinny fits, and you can't get those things off, and you're hopping about, and she's got her shit everywhere, and you hop on a plug.
What was that? That was like a little drama.
That did sound anecdotal. Yeah.
I found that if you've got skinny fits on, they're no good for spontaneous moments.
So back up. I'm 45. What's the skinny fit?
Skinny fit jeans.
Gotcha. Right. No idea what that is.
Right,
those jeans don't fit you properly.
Well, they're designed not to fit you properly. They're designed to look like they are supposed to be of the opposite gender.
The non-baggy ones.
Like an androgynous sort of feel,
yeah,
right?
Not like they've been around a while and then they came back in.
I've got them, but in a size 38, which I think is an oxymoron if you go in and ask for a size 38.
Faith healing, very, very deceptive world of TV evangelism. People who talk to the dead.
But isn't that psychics? I mean, that's what I don't get. Isn't that the same thing?
Faith healing is, you've got cancer, God is talking to me, I'm going to run over to you, put my hands on you, and boom! God is going to take that cancer away, you can throw your medication away. And psychics is, I've got a John talking to me. Could be David.
Oh no, sorry, it's a dog. It's a dog. Has anyone got a dog in the audience called John or David?
Yeah, and then they wait for people to go, I know a David, and then they go, thank God you said yes.
Is it a predominantly northern thing, or?
I just Northerner.
Yeah, but what I meant
was the spirit that came to me in that moment in time.
And what I don't get is why they were so vague. Why is it someone who's dead suddenly loses all the important details? I can't remember whether you're Dave or Derek.
It's always like, yeah. He wants you to know that he loves you, and
you knew that anyway, didn't you?
Yeah.
So why not say something useful
I
like?
You to tell me that, Gene.
You've left your Oyster card on your desk.
You've left those keys you've been looking for. I hid them. Also on today's program, we have another call-in. We have another comedian called Norman Chow. He's actually going to call in because he's actually bore witness to an exorcism. So I think it's actually fascinating. He's going to talk about his experiences in this exorcism situation. So again, another sort of, quite spooky situation.
We're all atheists, right?
Yeah.
So if you start from that point of view, then how are you going to believe in ghosts? But the thing is, I don't not believe it to the extent that I would fuck with any of it. Like, I wouldn't sit down.
You wouldn't get a Ouija board?
No.
Really?
I don't think I would. I don't.
Board the fucking shit out of this morning. I want a Ouija board right here, right now.
Should we just get one? Yeah, let's do it. That'd be the most surreal thing to do.
Can we be dyslexic and get Jumanji out?
Yeah.
See if we can make that work.
Should we do it like in the middle of it now? We know we just had Halloween and you're all a bit tired, but we just wondered if anyone could say a few words the same.
We'll get people to Skype in letters. C. Two. Oh, it's spelling death.
We'll help you out.
So, yeah, again, Ouija board, I don't really buy into that. I don't see why these things can't work in...
Have you heard... I mean, there are loads of stories on there, and there's stories of all these things. But some of the people who do Ouija boards go on to die.
Yeah, I hear that, yeah.
I hear that
can actually happen. Maybe sort of in a devastating way 40 or 50 years later.
Yeah.
Doesn't that actually just show the great power of true coincidence?
I kind of get a lot of my skepticism from my dad. And when I was growing up, I've got an older sister. When we went to school together, went to a Catholic school, all the hard kids in her year used to beat me up because I had an older sister. And it was kind of funny for them to do that, right? Ooh. So one year, they had she got friends with
funny, mate.
Yeah, she got friends with all these dudes, right? And they came around to our house, and they all thought they were going to do a Ouija board just for a laugh. So they just in the upstairs room, and I was sitting downstairs, and I told my dad this, and he just thought it was hilarious. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. So we both waited, and we went out into the garden. And we had this huge broom, right? And we waited to this point where the lights dimmed and everything else, and we just banged the broom on the window. And literally you could hear just like 10 people coming down the stairs with like white faces. And it was weird for me because all these really hard guys were like all just going, I want to go home to my mum. So I always love that story because it's the quintessential my dad, cause it's exactly the way he's seen that stuff.
It's a sort of story as well, like the guys at school when he gets physically bullied by these prats, and then he outwits them with intellect and makes them think.
Or a broom, just a broom. Just a long broom.
Running for the hill.
Well, if dead people are still around, I want to know where they are.
A lot of dead people in people's basements and wardrobes, but are you talking about...
No, if say we're sitting here with a Ouija board, right, and we're being controlled by somebody who's dead, right, where are they? I mean,
but that's what I've always found funny about the medium thing, because when they go, I've got a David, and then no one goes anything, they never go, sorry, David, didn't mean to bother you. Get back to what you're doing.
It's not you, David.
It's your time, David.
He's not here.
They just move on.
Yeah.
Fuck David.
Yeah, there's a queue forming. So who's next? Is there a Gary there? Sorry, Gary's not there either.
Yeah, not only is David dead and also not allowed into heaven, but he's also got to be woken up periodically by some irritating cunt in the town hall.
Well, heaven is just like, some culturally biased magical thinking, isn't it? Why isn't it paradise? Or why isn't it what Jews believe? Or why isn't it what,
you try to pinpoint it.
And why is somehow like ghosts in some sort of staging area before the afterlife?
What is the actual thinking behind that? What would they say a ghost is?
It's just ridiculous.
Like, people in heaven aren't ghosts.
No,
ghosts are something between the afterlife and this life, and it's sort of like they're just sort of stuck around. And I don't understand why they're stuck around. Do they have to do something? Are they being punished? Do they not want to go?
No, the punishment
why are they there?
They come out, they try to go, it's unfinished business.
Well, if you follow paranormal investigators, they will classify ghosts into different categories. Like there's apparitions, and then there's fucking poltergeists, and then there's a whole, so there's, specters. There's all these different things, so clearly there's different types of experiences with ghosts. And there must be, in my mind, a way of testing and determining one from the other. Like,
there is.
So I don't.
We try.
Well,
you can't test it. No. You shouldn't fucking come in then, mate.
Is it all crap and bullshit, or is there something to it? I suppose is what I'm asking. I mean, are we all just fragile people who are susceptible to the idea of the supernatural, or is there really a supernatural thing fucking with us?
Or is it massively simplistic just to think that the things we see are the only things that are actually real?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there could be. I mean, for instance, I don't have the same kind of skepticism as I have for ghosts for aliens, right? Or other dimensions, all the sort of scientific stuff, right? So I don't have that, but...
You believe there are aliens out there?
I think probability-wise, there has to be aliens, right? Just on a matter of, what's it, the Drake equation or whatever, just on a matter of probability, there has to be something there. I could also believe quantum mechanics and all that. There's like all these ideas that you can mathematically build models for other dimensions and bits and bobs like that. There's no proof of it, but it's sound mathematically. Do you know what I mean? So I could find myself thinking, that makes sense. But someone comes on with a story of a goblin or a ghoul, and I'm just like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, well, what a fucking medieval peasant you are. Ha ha ha.
Who are these goblin storytellers?
Well, there must be people out there
walking around.
Well, you don't spend enough time in Cornwall. You don't spend enough time in Cornwall, right? That's it. I think is the problem. I mean,
but I guess when you sort of go, is it all real, and is there something out there? I guess you've got to look at each particular case individually, of course, and then test what the claims are. And it hasn't been done.
We live in the age of selfies, right? There is so many cameras everywhere, and I can't believe if there are things like ghosts or like, you know, anything else like that, that someone hasn't got a decent, like, you know, 30-second Vine video or something like that of one. Do you know what I mean? Why is it that no one can actually capture these bloody things, you know, in some sort of evidential way? I don't get it. A few years ago, there was a legal change, which I thought was hilarious. Basically, I think there was an old law that was changed, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, that meant that anyone who's like a registered working medium, psychic, so on, has to now say at some point in the transaction with somebody else, they have to say this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah,
you know, you've seen this. Yes, otherwise, you're seen as being, you know, conning people. You can't sort of allude to the fact that it's real.
Really.
Yeah, you have to.
This is a legal thing.
It's a legal thing now, yeah.
When did that happen?
Unlike
3 or 4 years ago.
Like that, on living, like when they show like most haunted.
I think it's a real shame. I think there should be professional bodies for them where they get sort of chartered certified status.
They do. And at the time, all the mediums and psychics and all that kind of stuff were all up in arms. They were like, well, if we have to fucking do this, what about all the churches, right? And then they were like kind of lobbying for the fact that churches should be able to say for entertainment purposes only as well. So which I just think is fucking hilarious. If you went to like if you went to a service, it'd be like, praise be Jesus for entertainment purposes only. You know.
What do you mean, mate?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like the idea for me is like, you know, you know you've become entertainment when you end up being in the Avengers, because obviously Thor was a god. Now he's just an entertainment purposes only kind of Avenger, right? And it's great. We all love Thor. Used to be the Norse god of thunder, right? I'm waiting for him about 5 years' time when Jesus joins the Avengers. You know what I mean? I think that would just be wicked. I mean, because you suddenly become this. We can all get behind Jesus with his magic powers in the Avengers, right?
Yeah, but Zeus would look the bollocks as a Marvel comic.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. He's lightning.
See, but this is my point. I like the idea that all this old stuff, this old magical thinking, can be sort of reinvented into entertainment. Because have you noticed, by the way, right? It's something I've observed, like, you know, up to about the 1950s, right? All the kind of reports people were like talking about was like, oh, you know, I've seen fairies at the bottom of my garden, you know, or there's goblins and ghouls and ghosts and all that. And then directly after the atomic bombs happened, everyone started getting abducted by aliens. I'm being abducted. I'm being gang probed. You know, it's all this kind of stuff, right? So isn't it interesting that happened directly after, like, we entered the atomic age?
If you put that theory, that very logical thing that you have just said there, to anyone that actually prescribes to that short
am I Mr. Spock of this episode?
Yes, you are. You are
fascinating.
They actually turn around and go, oh no, that didn't happen though. Like, aliens and stuff have been around and like.
Oh, you mean like ancient aliens,
ancient aliens, and you go, no, you're just a dickhead who thinks you've seen a carving about an alien, and it's actually about a fucking birthright.
Yeah. But it's like all that other stuff, like, oh, how do they build the pyramids? They had fucking thousands of slaves, you dick. Yeah. They didn't care about their well-being. That's how they built them. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do people, how do they build? Is it some sort of spaceship? No, it's not.
But it's a lot easier, isn't it, to believe in things like aliens creating pyramids and stuff than to get bogged down in the ins and outs of science.
Yeah, or slave labour.
Yeah, it's easier in the mind.
I don't want to have to think about all of the logistics.
If you've got a couple of 100,000 people you want to treat like farm equipment, right? Yeah. Then you're going to actually build anything you like, aren't you? You're not going to really care about, I've just been crushed under a rock. Yeah, so wheel another one out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not really a problem. Let's get some bigger cat o' nine tails and we'll sort your fucking rudiness out now. You know, that's how you build pyramids, and that's how and also like, the Mayans, fucking the Mayans, you know, they knew shit. They could predict when the end of the world was. They didn't know how to keep their food away from their shit. Do you know what I mean? They didn't. They were very basic people. They used to open a chest cavity every day because they thought it was going to keep the sun coming up. These are not people who had some insight into the universe that made them sort of special. They're just ancient people. I mean, I don't get, for me, when people like look back on ancient times and ancient wisdom and try and sort of, through a modern context, actually, you know, make it seem like it's really profound. It isn't. You know, these people knew fuck all.
Calling the Norman Show.
Hi, Norman. This is Frank.
Frank, hi. How are you?
I'm here with Damien Kingsley.
Hello.
Hello, Damien.
And also Charlie Stanton.
Hello there, mate.
We wanted to sort of really chat to you today because we were talking, obviously, you and I on Facebook, and you mentioned that you had this weird, freaky thing happen to you. You'd actually been to an exorcism.
Yeah.
To put it into context,